Howdy, peeps. I am here. I'm just camouflaged. Uh, welcome back. Hello, whichever is appropriate. I'm just going to have a quick swig before I carry on. That's better. So, willkommen, as it were. Oh, we have somebody. It's been a week. Pretty busy week. There's some techie stuff to figure out, and which turned out to be easier than I thought it was going to be, and then work stuffs. Thankfully, no dramas there. Weather being typical British wintertime, can't figure out what it wants to do half the time. Howdy, Sammy, you spexy beast. How you doing? But yeah, it's thankfully been I'll say, busy but calm week. No grief, stress, hassle. One of my co-workers is leaving because he's just got himself a flat, apartment in a different town, so he's switching to that town's store. Just makes all the sense in the world. Beautiful weather, high 60s, same day. Yeah, we've had a mixture of pouring rain, sharp frosts, ice, a little bit of snow, and sunshine and wind. And that's not just limited to me either. Yeah, typical British wintertime. Obviously, all the people complaining about the weather. Oh, it's so cold and miserable. It's winter. It's meant to be cold. It's meant to be dark. Although the days are starting to draw out again now. Getting on towards a month past the shortest day, so getting about 45 minutes extra daylight a day. Already done 5.5 miles before 9:30, which is not 3,000 kilometers. It's about 8. I might have moved about 500 yards today. That's yeah, possibly. Yeah, in total. Day of rest and all that. $20 C. Yeah, that seems about right. Around about 60. It's currently. I did have my phone up here. I haven't anymore. We're in the mid single digits. I think it's about 6 or 7 degrees today, Celsius, which is just nice. I know it's warmed up because this time last week when I was coming up here, well, last week when we had the really cold weather, I was coming up here and it was 10 degrees with the heater on. It's 18 degrees Celsius up here now, and the heater's not on. Admittedly, I've been up here quite a bit today, and I've had the door open, letting the heat from downstairs come up. But yeah, it's still not what you call cold. Well, not what I'd call cold anyway. Last week was bloody cold. Yeah, so the weather is improving. Let's put that over. That side's getting manky again. It's just all the ingrained wax from the dabbing. Nine, yeah, so it's about the warmest it's been here this week, is about 9. It's been down to like -2 or 3. So this, howdy Linkbot, welcome back again. Yeah, so you saw from the thumbnail, I done the other book nook that Mary got me for Christmas, the Quiet Night Prayer one. Much fun. Certainly different to the others I've done. Abundant Sunshine, yeah, we haven't got that. At the moment, the sun's coming up at sunrise is around 7:30, and sunset is around 4:30. And then it's barely getting above the horizon. It's not going overhead, it's skimming across the horizon pretty much. It's that by the time I go to work around about 2ish in the afternoon, if there's been rain on the roads, I can't see where I'm going because of the glare off of the road. If I go in, because I'm heading into the sun on my way to work. Yeah, we have longer days in the summer. Height of summer, it'll get light about 3:45 in the morning, get dark about 11:15 at night, which can be interesting if you suffer from insomnia. It's like now when I wake up, I don't know if it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock in the morning. You get that sort of time of year in spring and autumn where it sort of gets light about the time that you should be getting up, and I like that time of year. So you wake up and it's light, so I better get up. Then it helps changing the time for no reason. Yeah, I mean, the reason they say here is so that the children don't have to go home to school in the dark. But they keep them at school longer now, so they're still coming home in the dark. And most of them get driven. So, yeah, I don't know what the reason it still is. And surely if the children got used to walking in the dark, it wouldn't be so scary for them. Because I used to have to. Hell. When I was 8 in the winter time, I was walking home 8, 9, something like that. I was walking home in the winter and it would be dark by the time I got home. But then I did have to walk like 2.5 miles. And part of that was through an old wood, which was really not fun to be walking through. It's certainly rather spooky. But hey, it wouldn't be me if I didn't hang around spooky places, would it? Even at that age, I was getting used to hanging around spooky places. Just wipe some dust off my glasses. Does help if I can actually see what I'm doing when I'm diamond painting. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's been done for so long now that I think if they stopped doing it, there'd be people complaining that it hadn't happened. It doesn't feel like winter, or it doesn't feel like summer without the clock changing. Weirdos. Nothing wrong with a bit of consistency, I say. In fact, that's pretty much all we ask from anything and anyone, isn't it? Be consistent. So when things are inconsistent, we start to struggle. Because then you don't know whether you're coming or going. Mikey! Yo, yo, yo! Hang on. Might better if I did it with this hand. There we go. Let's move that camera up a bit, shall we? There we go. Ooh. I had to readjust it to do the thumbnail, so it's a bit on the British on the British phrase for not quite straight when referring to an object, not a person. If it was a person or a male, we'd say they were camp. But as has been proven proven by history, all those people that were just camp in the 70s and 80s, well, what do you know? They all turned out to be gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, but it was just a sign of the times that they couldn't be out and have a career. Not on television, anyway. The fact that some people were actually surprised. Oh, I would never have thought. How did you not realise? It was especially funny when it was the female lost objects that came out. People like Mark Armand and Holly Johnson and all those kind of peeps. Oh, George Michael. Again, how anyone thought George Michael was straight, I don't know. You've got 16% body fat. I think I've got 16% body and the rest is fat. But what that tells me is you need to eat some more, dude, and do less exercise. If I got down to 16% body fat, everyone would be telling me or asking me if I was ill. I'd have Make-A-Wish bloody phoning me. It was bad enough when I went on a diet and actually got a healthy weight, the right weight, as it were. Then I had people go around saying I was too skinny, and They were worried about my health. What? Don't want to gloat. Goal is 15%. I think one good wall could clear that, wouldn't it? I'm just happy to be able to go up and down stairs without getting out of breath or have my heart pounding. And I work with someone who can't walk from the back of the warehouse to the front of the warehouse, and it's not a big warehouse. Yeah. I mean, yeah, well done. I'm not going to knock you for it. It's taking hard work and discipline. I wouldn't do it, but yeah. And so I work with someone who's 15 years younger than me, and they can't walk from the back to the front of the warehouse without getting out of breath. Only time I was in better shape I was 16 and 3. Yeah, I mean, it was the same with me. The only time I was in better shape was when I was in high school, before I buggered my ankle up. But yeah, I had you've done really wells. Oh, you've done well to lose so much weight so quickly. Oh, that's really well done. Now, what's your secret? Well, it's not really a secret. If you eat less and you move more, you lose weight. Apparently, they didn't like that though. It's one of those things. They keep advertising these shortcuts and easy ways, and no, they don't work. And of course, you got to keep it up once you get there, which I didn't do. Well, I did for like about a year. I kept the weight off, and I just thought, F it. I enjoy food too much. I enjoy not moving too much. Yeah, it was weird to have to actually be a healthy weight for the first time in decades, and then have people say I looked ill or I was too thin. I was like, no, I just lost all the fat. I wasn't scrawny by any means. Bit hard to be scrawny when you're doing what I was doing for a living back then, but yeah, it was a very strange time. There's, yeah, more definition. Overall health can't. Yeah, well, exactly. We were all healthier when we were younger. It's this strange thing that we can't help. It's called aging. There's really not a lot you can do about it, if anything. You can try and live a healthy life, but we've all seen the health nuts who haven't smoked a day in their lives, don't drink, don't eat things that might be classed as unhealthy constantly, and then they drop dead from something like lung cancer or heart failure or whatever, and you're like, well, what's the point in being super healthy if you're still going to die early anyway? My theory is we get one go at this life. Right? Just the one. We don't get a respawn or a do-over or a save point to go back to. So may as well try and enjoy it as much as we can. I would say I'd rather die young and happy than old and miserable, but there is zero chance of me dying young now. So I'm just concentrating on the happy. Do things I enjoy doing. Don't do things because people say I should. Turn 40 in November. Yeah, exactly. I've still got a decade on you. Decade and that awful British food you keep hearing about. That will never cease to be funny. Oh, Brits eat such bad food. Help our community grow. I don't think I'm really part of a community anymore, am I? So if I turned up in a fishy stream, bangers and mashed blood sausage, black pudding, call it the right name, spotted dick. Yeah, I mean, I'll grant you spotted dick is nasty. That's only because it's got fruit in it. A jam roly-poly is much better. Bangers, correct. I recall that because they used to explode because they were low quality. But as you are no doubt aware, with the far more stringent food laws in the UK and Europe, they ain't like that no more. Uh, the fact that basically all American meats are illegal in the UK and Europe should tell you something. And it's not a trade embargo or us being mean like Donald thinks. It's because a lot of the stuff that you give your animals, yeah, are illegal. There used to be rusk. There is still a percentage, a small percentage. I forget what it is, but it's mostly meat now. It's all the good bits of meat, the bits that people don't buy for chops or roasts or bacon or gammon or it's all the oddments, all the little bits, all ground up, stuffed into a tube and grilled or fried. That's what we used to say about pigs. Don't waste anything. The only bit of the pig we didn't use was the oink. Have you noticed how you never see organic vegan sweets or candies? It's because the only way to get organic glycerin, which is what makes them set, is by boiling the bones of animals. Which for some reason tends to upset vegetabilists. I don't have bangers and mashes work at British pub and that kind of thing. Yep, except he bought a different bridge to the one he thought he was buying. Yeah, it's just sausages and mashed potato with gravy. Proper gravy. Proper brown gravy. If you want to do it properly, made with Bisto, well, I say properly, Bisto gravy granules. And to which I add some soy sauce, that is, not soybeans or yeah, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, a bit of MSG, because we all know what MSG stands for. Make shit good. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a bit of Bovril in there either, or Marmite. I'll add that in occasionally. Bit of Coleman's mustard. If I'm making a mug full of gravy, 1 heaped teaspoonful of Coleman's mustard is enough. But you got to remember, unless you like your mustard and you want your sinuses cleared out, don't lick the spoon afterwards. If you're not used to it, proper English like Coleman's mustard will take the roof of your head off. It'll empty your sinuses in seconds. It's good stuff. It's actually something I do when I've got a bad head cold. I get all bunged up and horrible. I just eat a spoonful of mustard. That clears things out quickly enough. Usually for long enough for me to fall asleep as well. That's the biggest problem I have with colds, is actually getting to sleep. Yeah. What else do I put in the gravy sometimes? Yeah, that's about it. Don't think there's anything else I really add. So I went to the chippy yesterday, the fish and chip shop. Had battered jumbo sausage, chips, big old portion of chips. I only just managed to eat. And then I poured gravy all over it, because gravy's good. Yes, so it's been years since I actually had Bovril. Yeah, mug of Bovril at the football, you can't go wrong with it. What colour next? What's there a lot of? It's hard to tell because it's all spread out now. Let's get a little one. I know there's not many of them, but get some out of the way. What else can we waffle on about? Yeah, I'm rapidly running out of waffle topics. It's not that there hasn't been plenty interesting happening this week. It's just quite a lot of it is probably best not to bring up in a live stream. um, made this turkey soup. Spicy chicken stock, jar of Alfredo sauce, and piece of turkey with bone. Cornbread dumplings. See, that's a definite difference because we don't do cornbread for a start. We make our dumplings with suet, beef suet, which is basically beef fat. Last year it did get a bit political. But again, that's kind of the main topic of what's been going on in the world this week, isn't it? Do you think he actually has any idea what would happen if he did invade a NATO country? We need it for national security. Right. Problem is, if you do that, you're going to lose all the air bases, everything you got in Europe. You're going to be told, yeah, go away. We don't want you here no more. And obviously, then all the European governments would sell all their dollar bonds, tanking the value of the dollar, and then also impose strict embargoes so no one will import or export. Yes, it would pretty much destroy the country overnight. Yeah, running the country like one of his businesses, one of the ones that went bankrupt. One of the many that went bankrupt. I'm sorry, but part of my definition for a genius businessman or business person doesn't involve multiple bankruptcies. That to me screams bad businessman. That screams I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not claiming to be a businessman myself by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd like to think I've got slightly more grasp on it. Especially when it comes to international stuff. Well, the amount of corruption is so staggering. People, yeah. exactly. It's like he just doesn't understand right and wrong and what is lawful and what isn't. And this is I use the term loosely, a man, a male, someone of the male gender who claims to be a Christian, but objectively has zero empathy and virtually zero morals either. So yeah, I mean, even if it is all real, do you reckon he's going to get the pearly gates having repented on his deathbed, providing he's in a good enough mental state to be able to understand it? Do you think he's going to be getting an invite through the pearly gates? I really don't think so. As transparent as a brick. Yeah, easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get in heaven. Yeah, and that is not as difficult as it sounds because I think it was Jerusalem. There was a gateway into the city that was known as the Needle, and it was wide enough for a camel to get through. But if you loaded the camel up, it wouldn't fit. So the rich man with all the stuff on the camel couldn't get into Jerusalem. That's where that saying comes from, apparently. Unless it's been disproven since I heard that, which probably has. These things have a tendency to changing. And that's something some people struggle with. More historical study will uncover different things, and as we study scientific things more and more things will become uncovered, and previous facts will be proven false as we go through. It happens regularly. The big problem is some people will go, oh, this is the fact, and then refuse to accept that it's changed. Off to the DP twerking and lurking. Enjoy the doggo park. Hopefully there's plenty of attractive young ladies there today with proper dogs, not little yippy yappy things like teacup Yorkies or... I'm sorry, it doesn't qualify as a dog when a rat could beat it up. That's my general thing. If the dog gets in a fight with a rat and the rat wins, it doesn't qualify as a dog. I mean, come on. It was some teeny tiny terriers like Jack Russells that their entire raison d'etre is to hunt and kill rats. So If your dog is not capable of doing that, it ain't dogging. And I don't mean that in the term that dogging is usually used in the UK. And if you don't know already, don't Google it. You'll find some very disturbing videos. Pretty much all under the amateur banner. Which will tell you exactly what I'm talking about. What else is there we can ramble about? Oh. Oh. How the old fish swap go last week, Mike? Find anything? Behave yourself and not get anything? Yeah, I would struggle not to. Well, let's be honest, if I was going to go to a fish shop, I'd probably clear out 2 tanks before I went. Mind you, I'd probably clear out 2 tanks just with the bristle noses I'd be taking. The amount of bristles that I could clear out, given the opportunity, I could probably supply half the UK. Maybe all the UK, at least for a week. That'd be interesting. See how long it takes to clear out 1,000 bristle noses. And see how much annoying and pointless store credit you can get for it as well. Store credit that you can only use on livestock. Yeah, I'm moving these fish on because I've not got room for any more. And the only thing I can get with it is more fish. Okay. Well, I suppose if I got rid of enough, I'd have enough for something expensive. There are blue phantoms, green phantoms, something like that. That would be interesting. Turn up at the LFS with a bag full of those. Oh yeah, yeah, it's me. How many blue phantom plex do you want? What do you mean? Well, I got a couple of hundred. What? See, that is the problem. If I got those and started breeding them, pardon me, I would just kill the prices, which would make me very unpopular with the importers and all the shops that are stuck trying to sell them at silly money when I'm selling them at a few quid a pop. What do you mean you're selling them for £35 each? I'm selling them for £5. Yeah. That's why yes. I mean, I did that with Super Reds. I killed the local price of Super Red bristle noses. They were usually around the £30 mark, and then I started breeding them, and they became more and more common. And the place I was selling them to was selling them for a tenner or 15, so nobody else sold any. Membership Super 6 Super Chats. Oh my, they're fun and they help support the channel. They are Linkbot, they're very fun and they are very supportive. Much like an underwired bra. Not a padded bra, they're not much fun, but underwired ones are fun. Padded bras are just, well, let's be honest, false advertising. It's it's the female equivalent of sticking a banana down your trousers, or a cucumber if you've watched Spinal Tap. Oh, I know I saw some over here. Sometimes it's better to just take your time and double check that you haven't missed any, because it's quicker and easier than having to keep opening bags again and just to get one or two drills out. Yeah. So what I'm doing now, not that you can really probably see anything because of angles and light and reflections and stuff, is I've done the colours, letters that there are the most of in the row of 10. And then like the obvious ones that are easy to see to an extent. Now I'm starting on this side and working back across and just clearing one colour at a time, starting to the far right and working back left. And that way, in theory, as long as I remember which bag I've got, yeah, it tends to be the simplest way I find to making sure I've got everything. And I'm not going back and forth all over the place. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Oh, there we go. I think that should be it for those. Oh, need some more wax again in a moment. Oh, there's another one. This one. Yeah, it's all fun and gravy. And obviously, I'm guessing you can tell what the picture is without me having to turn it around and aim it at the camera. Because this one's heavily pixelated picture. Which works quite well. This one's actually safe for work, I would say, as well, which is quite rare around here. It did cross my mind at one point to like, it might be quite fun to do one of, because we've got like team photos and stuff. Do a team photo of the people at work, but you know, and then hang it up at work. But yeah, probably within like 6 months it'd be out of date. I don't want to have to keep doing it. Every time someone quits, leaves, gets fired. Not that the getting fired happens very often. Usually more a usually more people don't last very long because the job's not what they thought it would be. Yeah. Working in a hardware store, you're going to have people asking you questions about plumbing and electricity and building and all these kind of things, kind of things you buy in a plumbing store, hardware store. So it kind of helps to have some basic knowledge about it. And no, we don't just stand behind or sit behind the till all shift long, like you would in, say, a supermarket. And as it's a fairly small team, we all have to do all of the things. So that's usually a good way to weed out the people that aren't going to work out. And then those that aren't working out, you can put on the really nasty jobs or the jobs you know they don't like doing until they quit. Because they might not have done anything wrong or wrong enough that you can fire them. Because it's a lot harder to fire someone in the UK than it is in the US. because, workers' rights. Which is what a lot of American execs find out when they come over to Europe to work for their American companies. They try just mass layoffs or sacking people, and it's like, yeah, no, you can't do that. That's illegal. And that has to go through arbitration. That has to go through the committee. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's going to take months. But yeah, so generally, rather than firing people, the easiest way to get rid of them is to give them jobs they really hate doing. So, for example, if you get someone who hates doing delivery, you make sure you schedule them in for when deliveries needing to be done. If they love doing delivery but hate being on tills, you schedule them in when there's no delivery to do. And they've got to be on tills. You might not be allowed to fire people. You can accelerate their willingness to leave, shall we say. Yeah. There are definitely groups of people who are making themselves basically unemployable, though. Not helped by the fact that there are certain questions you're not allowed to be asked in job interviews. Or if you are asked, you can say, no, I'm not answering that. I don't have to. Not that doing that will help you get the job. That's kind of admitting that you do have that problem that they're looking to find out whether you have. You're just not willing to say it. It's like having a bunch of files that out a bunch of child molesters and then not releasing them or heavily redacting them so that you take out all the names. No, that's not how that works. Because by doing that, you're just making yourself look more guilty. And if you had nothing to hide, you'd release them straight away with no problem. Anyway, I'm going to do these K's. This is only the one row. And I'm going to have a puff. Oh, that was an extra one of them. And E was those. We've got a couple of them. Yeah, I'm just filling in a couple of gaps I missed, okay? There we go. Oh, we have 4 peoples. Hello, 4 peopleses. Speak now, forever hold your peace. And if you give me a different subject to talk about, I will gladly talk about it. There isn't much I can't waffle on about for at least a good few minutes, so come on. Stick something down in the chat for me to waffle about. I ain't gonna bite. I might take the mickey a bit. I might have a laugh with you about it. I might get all serious. You don't know. I don't know until you find out. Yes, I have just realised I forgot to refill my backy tin before I came up here. Never mind. He says. Come on, you up in that corner out of the way. Well, ain't gonna be much of a smoke. Let's see what we got in there. So yeah. Now, hit me with a subject to waffle about. What have you been up to today or this week? Anything interesting happening? Or am I scaring people off? Oh, if I join in, people might make fun of me. People ain't going to make fun of you, not in here. They'll laugh with you, not at you. Well, yeah. Unless you're an extremist of some sort, then we'll probably laugh at you, but I do find it funny how in the States I would be considered a liberal, but over here I'm basically considered right wing. Oh. What colour is next? Le. Ooh. Pop. So yes. I think that ash just fell into the bin. Hopefully it went out, because there's a lot of paper, plastic and wood in that bin. We shall see if the bin catches fire. That might make for an interesting live stream, won't it? As I just pour a bunch of dirty paint water in the bin. Right, while I puff, I'm going to nip next door to the little boy's room. I'll be back in a minute. Oh. There we go. I'll make sure I'm decent before I come back and sit down. I'm out of shot anyway. Right, so let's see who is actually here, shall we? Let's see who's here. Participants. Me. Okay. So there's 3 people watching but not participating. Oh, pardon me. Come on. Okay. Here's a question for you. And yes, I'm aware I'm smoking and there's a no smoking sign right there. Le parfumé. Is there anything or anyone, as it were, that you'd like to see me do a diamond painting or maybe even a paint by numbers of? Or if you've got any ideas, because I will be doing paranormally cryptidy stuff during this year. That's the next lot I'm going to be starting to purchase. You got any ideas for them? Stick them in the chat as well. And I can make a note. I know I've got pens and paper up here because it's a modelling cave. It wouldn't function without a pen and paper to make notes on. So I've already got. What have I already got? So I've got a black shuck. What else? A Wendigo. Other ones on the list so far, obviously a gust, a phantom, as it were. A banshee. Bigfoot's a bit tame. Jersey Devil, probably. Mothman, maybe a Dogman. I would say Dog Woman, but I've dated a few of them. Perhaps an accurate fairy, a fae folk, from how they were originally described and written, spoken about, rather than the Disney version. If we actually look into the folklore surrounding the fae, you will find that the Disneyfied versions of like Tinkerbell and whichever other ones there are, yeah, that's not folklorically correct. They're not sweet, cute creatures or beings. Nasty little things. Ooh. Is that all? Yeah, that's going to be all of those. What else can we waffle about? Okay. And yes, I've been sad, and I've got all the bags laid out in numerical or alphanumerical order. When you're doing a diamond painting that's got maybe a dozen colours, you can just hull them on the bench. Don't worry about it. When you got one that's like this, which is 27 colours, you kind of have to be able to keep track of where they are. Otherwise, you spend ages hunting for the next one. And I'd rather not. Were there any P's over here? Nope. More R's and N's. So, come on, people. Sticking me on for background noise don't really work if I ain't got nothing to talk about. Yeah, so planning some more bike rides for this year. Nothing too far, no ridiculous ones. So I've got to be a bit fitter. Those yeah. So if there's anything interesting I can visit, definitely got to do Wyndham Abbey because there's so much to talk about for that place. It's semi-ruined, definitely haunted. There's so many stories about that place, and I've had my own experiences. Obviously, lots of history as well. Plenty to waffle about there. And there is, I did spot on a map the other day another ruined church that's not too far away that I might have to pay a visit. That one's what, only 3 or 4 miles away. I don't think I've been there before. Hard to tell. I went to so many in a short period of time that I've forgotten which ones I did and which ones I didn't. I'll get it figured out. G, oh, that's a G, isn't it? Yeah. I do have a couple of ideas for some slightly longer rides. But again, they're going to have to wait for better weather because I really don't fancy going for a long bike ride in the howling wind, pouring rain, or just generally bad weather or ridiculously hot. I learned that lesson. Learned that lesson the hard way. Twice. Actually 3 times. One time weren't too bad. Second time was kind of nasty because it was pretty much part way through my first long ride. And the third time, yeah, I basically flaked out. What they call bonking. Which is basically where you hit a wall where your body just hasn't got anything more to give. Is one way of putting it. The other way is heat stroke. I've had a couple of minor doses of it and one fairly major. And the major one was like 20 miles from home, and having to well, that was a 60-mile ride, and the last 15 mile took me longer than the first. Well, last 20 miles took me longer than the first 40 miles. And scrambled my brain enough that it didn't occur to me to go another couple of 100 yards to a store, which I knew was there. And so it didn't occur to me to go there and just buy cold water and just pour it on myself and drink a load of it. It tells you how scrambled my brain was. And here I was cycling along a main road. A main road with a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit and single truck or single lane each way. So yeah. Do what Sharpe says, not what he does. I'm an awkward bugger. Awkward and stubborn. And if I've decided I'm going to do it, I'll do it, whether it kills me or not. Which that was probably quite close to killing me, to be honest. Ooh, ooh, we're actually on this side as well now. Ooh, come on, just want one. Right, so that's that line finished. Come on, peel back. That is a good chunk of twos on that one, which I like. So I haven't really had any big colour blocks yet. Colour blocks make things go faster. So first we'll do the one that we missed out down there. There we are. One and two. Two, three, 4, 5, 7, 10. There we go. I'll do that so I know how far up I've got to go. Ooh. I think we might be actually getting to boobage. So there's going to be less background in this row, thankfully. But the further up we get, the more background we get. But there we go. All ends up the same at the end of the day. Whee. Bloop. Right. Oh. No, still nothing in chat. So what I'm probably going to do is give it another 5 minutes or so, and then I'll call it for today. Go grab myself something to eat, sit and chill. Oh, where's she? Haven't done a channel of the week yet, have I? As it were, someone I've been watching a good amount of. That's probably going to go to the guys at Paranormal Quest. It's not your typical ghost hunting channel. They don't get all excited and over the top about things. They're polite, respectful. Basically, they do paranormal investigations the way I do paranormal investigations. Quite happily debunk their own evidence. They double check, triple check, all that kind of stuff to see whether it is something they might have done or been picked up from just boring and mundane things like wind catching a fireplace cover and making it bang, or what have you. But yeah, and they've been going for donkey's years. Not that me saying they're good's going to make any difference to their channel or mine, but I like to, when I find channels I enjoy or I think are objectively good, I like to promote is probably the wrong phrase, but I like to tell the people that watch me about them because I'd like to think if you're watching me, we've probably got similar interests somewhere down the line. And if that similar interest happens to be the paranormal, then there you go. Just don't expect me to be watching the big famous YouTubers. The only reason I know which ones are the big famous ones is when you see the views. You go, oh, this video's had 17 million views. Okay, we'll give that one a miss then. Then alongside the paranormal quest, if you don't want to watch like investigations or whatever, there's a couple of channels I watch that are more law based, shall we say? Law, LORE, not LAW. You got What Lurks Beneath and The In Between. If you like your true crime stuff, then I would highly recommend that chapter. Give that a go. And I say he, Mike also does that chapter podcast where he does cover some more paranormal type things or unexplainable type things. Yeah, I'll just go until I finish these blacks off, of which there are actually quite a lot. So we might not. Might take me another half hour to do these. And so this is the thing, because I watch what I like to watch, content, subject wise. I tend not to have a clue who most of the big name channels are. And they don't even come up on my feed, I don't think, most of the time. Or if they do, it'll be that they've done one ghost hunting video or something, and that will show up. Yeah. Is there anything else I can vaguely waffle on about? Plans for this week. I do have another book nook I have purchased that I want to film a video on. The unboxing kind of thing. Then, if I'm actually vaguely organised, I might get that filmed and uploaded. Water changes, walk the doggo, work. Continue with this diamond painting. Try and actually get some sleep. That might help. Yes, the old insomnia has been biting me in the backside this week. Having lots of, well, last 2 weeks really, but having quite a few what I call a night of two halves, which is where I go to bed, I fall asleep fine, and then I wake up about 2 or 3 hours later, feel absolutely fine, awake, wide, and good, all sorted. Marriage, my darling, how the devil are you? Good to see you. Oh, mwah. Big smooches and massive huggles. Yeah, so waking up at like 2, 3 in the morning, then being up for an hour or two, and then going back to bed again, and doesn't work. Oh, always like a good married hug. What you been up to, me dearie? I've not seen you for a while. I'm starting to get worried. Or is it ice hockey season again? You mean going down the rink and getting your lust on? Eyeing up the young men in their hockey gear. Been a rough winter. Yeah, I'm assuming you've had a bit more going on than me, other than it being cold and horrible. Oh no, you have even bigger huggles. Lost two friends. Um, yeah, unfortunately, we're well, I'm of that age, and you've been that little bit older than me. Yeah, we're at that point now where more and more of like the people we went to school with, our friends, are starting to get to the end of their mortal coil. Yeah. Well, yeah, the C word can go do one, can't it? Because that's just nothing we can do about that. They keep telling us, don't do this, don't do that, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't drink this, don't drink that. All these things cause cancer. The thing is, oxygen causes it, water causes it. It's just being alive causes cancer. Yeah. I mean, yes, there are things you can do to reduce the risk of getting certain cancers, like not smoking is a good way to reduce the risk of getting lung cancer. Being male is a good way to avoid getting ovarian cancer, although men can still get breast cancer. Yeah, as I say, there's not a lot we can do about it. But yeah, the older we get, the more people we lose. It's a pain in the butt. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Had a bit of a meh, but that was just weather related. You know how it is. It gets really cold and horrible, and you just want to curl up under a blanket and not move. But it's warming up again here. We're probably done with snow now for the winter, he says. Unless we do get another blast come across in another month or two, but I can't see it. Yeah, the problem I was having didn't get snow until third. Yeah, I think we probably got the same snow. Yeah, we had we didn't get it too bad here. It was barely 10 centimeters at most, but parts of the UK got a good amount of snow. And then we had a storm coming as well. So we had the high winds, the rain, the snow. Days on days of freezing conditions, and yeah, it just kind of got everyone down, I think. That I wanted to come up here and do some diamond painting or book nooking or whatever, but even with the heating on and my little heater down here behind me, it was still bloody cold up here. It was like 10 degrees. So I was like, no, don't fancy it. Snow for 14 days now, it's raining. So you're going to get the floods and the slush then. Oh, joy. Yeah, so there was lots of just sitting downstairs watching random crud. And yeah, but that's all done with now. We'll get some sense of willing going again, and all will be well with the world. Well, I'll still have plenty to grumble and complain about, because I wouldn't be me if I didn't have grumbles and complaints. But I'm a grumpy old man. I've got to have grumbles and complaints. Some people are drama queens and they have to have drama in their lives. I just like having things to grumble about. Yes. Both grumpy old buggers. Nothing wrong with being a bit of a grump. It's the people who are always perpetually up and happy that I don't trust. The ones who are always positive and have a positive mindset about everything. You're like, ugh. They're actually exhausting to be around. My thinking is they just haven't had it knocked out of them yet. The world hasn't beaten them down hard enough yet. Yeah, I've never been one for drama. It's just like, really? Haven't you got anything better to do than cause trouble? That's why work's so much better now. The source of all our drama has gone to a different store. After she tried throwing me under the bus and failed, and then claimed that she didn't feel safe or some such rubbish. 3 kids, breakups. Yeah, exactly. We're allowed to grumble. We've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, worn it out, used it as a rag. Yeah. So yeah, she was one of those that has to have drama. If there's no drama, then she has to find it or manufacture it. And that's what's happened. She manufactured drama with me. Even filed a grievance against me, which then got investigated. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Got investigated, and what do you know? Turned out I'd done nothing more than what was called workplace banter. And I may have, accidentally thrown her back under the bus myself, which probably what caused her to leave, because she realised that not everybody loved her. And in fact, everyone's suddenly shut up. As the general consensus was, I can't believe she threw you under the bus. I thought you were supposed to be good friends. Yeah, so did I. But she hadn't had any drama in her life for a while, so she needed more. She just chose the wrong bloody target. One who hadn't done, did it to herself, exactly. And now she's in a much busier store where she's being made to do her job. She hasn't got a local friendly Wookiee who's willing to not be bored of an evening and actually do the jobs that need doing, rather than standing there on her phone letting me do everything. She's having to get off her backside and do it. And you know what? Everyone is a lot happier since she's gone. No more walking on eggshells. No more. I mean, I could get away with saying pretty much what I wanted, but other people are having to be super careful talking to her because everything got taken out of context the wrong way. It was a personal attack. Felt threatened. You know, can't even order the picture that son wants you to make for him. Tariffy rubbish, or because he's doing the Greenland thing. Yeah. If you could get a copy of the original, or just save a picture of the original artwork of the picture, you could then get a custom one like this. I mean, this is an AI generated picture that I generated, and then you've got a custom one because as I'm sure you're aware, the majority of the diamond paintings available aren't really my taste. Can you see me doing cutesy, brightly coloured? The Chinese aren't worried about whether it's got a copyright on it. Let me put it that way. Trust me on that. They don't care about Western copyrights at all. And as long as you're not doing it for profit, yeah, let's be honest, no one's going to come after you for one or two. You're doing it for yourself or family. I know people go on about, the artist and making their money, and yeah, fair enough. I agree with that, but sometimes you just have to say, screw it, I ain't paying that much for it. Especially once it's been out a while. Exactly. So yeah. I even did a whole video on how to get custom diamond paintings. So and then you can have it whatever size you want. So if you wanted it massive, you could have it massive. If you wanted it dinky, you could have it dinky. Because I mean, What am I paying? So these 30 by 40s, squares, rounds, whatever, from the likes of Temu, Shein, or AliExpress, although I don't tend to use AliExpress very much, because the whole way their points work doesn't make any sense to me. You get all these points and then you don't use them. Yeah, so Temu or Shein, £3 or £4 for a 30 by 40 custom, usually. I mean, to reach minimum order value on Temu, I usually have to get at least 4. And don't tell Mary, but I had a count up the other day and I've got 88 diamond paintings to do. Whoops. Didn't think I had quite that many. Your head's not in a good place. Well, maybe it'll help your head get in a good place. Not that Mary would give two hoots about me buying a whole bunch of diamond paintings. I should say it's my money. Spend it on things I want. Although it's going to be an awkward one this year because it's my 50th this year. And as we both realised for her 50th, it's a nightmare buying gifts for her. So God knows what it's going to be like trying to buy things for me for my 50th. Because, I mean, even buying stuff for myself. I've got, from various places. Yeah, almost 50. I'm well over 50% done. I ain't making it to 3 figures. I'll be lucky if I make it to retirement. I got given a decent amount of money from various people for Christmas. 52. Bless you. It's only a couple of years in it. Feel like you're close to 80. Well, I'm sure you're still a smoking little hottie. Still gorgeous girly. That's for sure. Him. Yeah, that'll do for now. Ooh. Yeah, I definitely feel older than 50. And well, good. We like a filthy mind. That's why we get on so well, because we're both absolute filth merchants. Just don't give a floof anymore. Did you ever give a floof? Be honest. I can't say that you'd have ever bit your tongue about something. Not in the last 30 years, exactly. I mean, I've learned to be a bit more diplomatic in the way I put things, shall I say. But yeah, I'll still tell it like it is. Don't care size, colour, shape, no poops given. Exactly. Yes. Equal opportunities hatred. That's what I go with. If anyone accuses me of being racist or sexist, no, no, I despise everyone equally, except the French. But you're allowed to hate the French because they're French. Almost as bad as French Canadians. Your problem. Well, that's not the way I want to get you going. Woof woof. Oh God, I couldn't resist that one. Get you revved up. Actually, that reminds me, I haven't been camping for a while. Uh, need to check my tarp and check my tent. Oh dear. Hopefully nobody else gets that reference. Although, thankfully, I've left my phone downstairs, so there's no risk of me checking anything up here. So, that you do. Well, yeah, us men aren't that difficult to figure out in that way. Especially those of us who are honest about it. Like that time I got accused of microaggressions. I was like, what the hell's a microaggression? If I'm gonna be aggressive, you'll know about it. There won't be anything micro about it. It won't be a micro, it will be an aggression. There will be shouting, there will be swearing, you will know. It won't be a subtle thing. It will be blatantly obvious. Oof, my time is up. So I'll just get these A's done. Why do I shut the bag for? Keep your bag open, Sharpe. Don't close your sack. All right. So, as I was saying earlier, plans are for. Don't hold me to this, anyone. Probably a video sometime near the end of this week of a unboxing of another book nook, a bookie nookie. This one's a bigger one, I think. Certainly more detailed. Hopefully I'll get that done and uploaded and I won't lose the will to live. And other than that, thank you to everyone. Missed something? I've been doing some book nooks lately. I've got the most recent one here. Ooh. Carefully. Oh, no, back, don't seize up. Turn the lights on. I'll angle the camera up a little. So yeah, basically little miniature doll's house type things. But yeah, that's one of the other things I've been doing. Mary got me this one for Christmas, but I have seen it on Amazon. The other one I've got, ignore the fact that it says Edinburgh Castle on it, because it's not Edinburgh Castle. It's just Chinese, but that is that one. And this one's got a music box in it as well. Yeah. So easy enough to make. It's either clips together or glues together. Good fun. Don't take too long to do. But yeah, so I like where I get most of my stuff, either Amazon, Temu, or Shein. If you're getting it from Amazon, it's probably the same one you get from Temu or Shein, just with extra people taking their slice of the money in between and it being twice the price. Yeah, that's my general issue with things, because the quality is exactly the same, the product is exactly the same, but the price is like 50%. Anyway, I'm definitely running over time now, so thanks to everyone who's been here, especially those who've partaken in the chat. Same time, same place next week. Might have finished this, might be doing something else. Have fun, stay safe, peace out, rock on, bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Love you, merit do 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 do. Love you, merit do 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 do. Love you, merit do 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 do.